course do you think will always be in demand no matter what?
So there's no particular course I would want to say, because I don't want to say a CFA or an FRM since I'm teaching about it. But I would rather say that common sense is going to be very, very needed. And common sense is not going to go out of fashion ever. And especially in the times of AI.
And when students ask for stock tips, what's your go-to response?
So read the offer documents carefully before investing. Markets are subject to investment risk. But on a serious note, no, I do not give any stock tips. Because the students would not know when I'm exiting, why I'm exiting, when I'm investing, what is the proportion, whether I'm willing to take a risk in terms of, there is a certain stock where, I'm expecting a 20x, 40x in 10-year horizon. But even if it gives me zero return for 20 years, I'm okay with it. So students would not be able to appreciate and understand all those nuances, and I will not be able to update them in a real time as to what I'm doing with those stocks. So therefore, strictly no stock tips.
And what's one thing that students do that annoys you?
Fall for shortcuts and look for short-term greed and all. That's part of human nature. But maybe because of social media and because of everything today, it's been amplified a lot, where everybody wants to go for that get quick rich schemes and all of that, and they ultimately fall for it.
How do you manage work and personal life?
So firstly, I don't see balancing as such, because first of all, your work needs to be worth balancing at an early stage of your career, and at different stages different things become important. So in the early 20s, of course, your education is the most important thing because your entire life is ahead. But maybe in the late 20s, then you start maybe balancing a little bit and maybe start taking more time with the family, etc., because you can also afford to. There's more certainty and stability in your career. In the early 30s, then you make sure that you're taking maybe 2 vacations a year or even 3 at times, combining with work, etc., taking time for yourself with the things that you want to do. Maybe now probably I'll start focusing and giving more time to the health aspect as well. So in different phases of life, I believe different things are more important, and accordingly you have to do a balance. Because I think we were discussing about this yesterday. So if somebody has got their parents ill, etc., and they need to shell out money for the medical expenses and all of that, they cannot afford to have a work-life balance. So you cannot just simply extrapolate it to everyone in a one rule fits all kind of a thing.
And what's one lesson from your early career you still follow?
Valuing time. So I've always valued time, even when I was a school student or a college student. So I'm enjoying. So that's not a problem. But I'm not wasting time per se. So time is, I think, one of the most valuable things that anybody has.
And what's your response when students like me ask, sir, pass ho jayenge na?
So yes, pass ho jaoge. But if you're not thinking about passing, and if you're actually working towards passing, so nishkam karma, you cannot be thinking about the fruits, because that will be adding stress to you. And you are continuously contemplating about the outcome, which is not very good when you're studying. When you're studying, you need to enjoy the studying, complete your syllabus, complete your revision, mark questions accurately, you will pass.
And what's your favorite food after a long teaching day?
So, okay, it's very difficult to pick one, but I think mostly around Indian, North Indian, South Indian, Chola Bhatura, all of those.
And one financial book everyone should read?
Psychology of Money. Because I think the psyche part, the sentiment part is very important, and there's a lot of misguidance around these aspects. And because we're all human beings, we fall for it very often. So it's very important to go through that.
What keeps you motivated to teach?
I think students like you, for example, when that energy, that drive comes from the individual, then you feel like doing more, because you can see that they're going to use that time, that advice, that effort you're putting in as a teacher, as a mentor. And when somebody uses those advices and works on those and actually sees that their life is improving and they're able to achieve whatever they want to, I think that is one of the most important motivational factors for me.
Any recent habit that's improved your routine?
So I write a lot. There's a lot of brain dump that I do. I just simply start scribbling. So if anything that's bothering me, I start writing uncontrollable factors. Once I write it, I know that I don't have a control on it. For example, bad traffic. I can't do anything about it. What are the possible solutions? One is try to leave or attend office in a timing. It's flexible for me. So do the timings in such a way that you will not find traffic at that time. On the class days, I cannot do that because my class timings are fixed. Maybe not drive yourself and have somebody else drive for you. So that is something that I can do. And therefore, that saves me a lot of irritation or, probably using a lot of slangs on the other drivers, which normally happens on the Indian roads. So that helps me. So writing down the controllable, uncontrollable factors, working on the controllable ones really helps.
And what's your response when people say AI will replace teachers?
Um, I think it's great if it can, although I don't think it will be able to. But great in the sense that because we've seen so many reels and all where teachers in government schools, for example, and even other schools possibly, we've seen that they're not even able to write and they're teaching class 8th and 10th and 12th. And the students do deserve very good teachers. So if AI can become that really great teacher and democratize the education process, I think that is absolutely great. And teachers might be able to focus more time individually, mentoring, etc. So if AI can do a part of it, I'm very happy about it. But I believe that there is a lot of emotion aspect, there's a lot of understanding the student aspect that is involved. For example, I cannot teach to a studio. So I always need students in front of me because that acts as a continuous feedback mechanism for me as to how to continue teaching, and that makes it more interactive. So, but yes, AI will be able to aid the teachers for sure and students.
What's one emerging finance career to watch out for?
So I'm not sure if there is an emerging finance career per se. I would say if you would ask casually to anybody about this question, they will talk about data and analyzing data, using data in varied ways. But what I feel is in the times of AI, keeping the AI part aside, it is going to be very important to be able to interconnect subjects. For example, and on the strategic and management finance side, for example, I need to understand that if I'm taking a business decision, how will the consumers, let's say, react? What will be the psyche of that decision on the or impact on sales or branding of the company? How will it translate to the valuation financial statements first? How is my PL account and balance sheet going to look like? How will the competitors react? How will it impact the valuation of my company? How do I go about with all the corporate finance decisions? So when you're in the company running a business, then understanding all the nuances of the business and everything is ultimately going to have a financial impact. So somebody being able to apply that level of common sense, that level of holistic understanding of everything around, even an interest rate change, for example, we study in fixed income, is going to be impacting how the the cost of capital, etc., in the company is going to be. So having that holistic understanding and interconnection and being able to run the show, not just restricted to finance, but even to consumer behavior, brand design, and all of that aspect, that I think is going to be something very interesting to look at.
What's the most common question students ask you?
How did you get these many degrees, or how did you do these many degrees, or why did you do these many degrees? One of the combinations.
What's the most rewarding part of teaching?
I think seeing that, people's life change, because there are a lot of people who did not probably have that guidance, or, when they are coming from an X level and they rise up to a 2X, 3X, 4X just surely because of their hard work. And you don't change your life, you change your entire family's life. So your parents, everybody's standard of living goes up. The basics are also not taken care of for a lot of people. Somebody may not have been able to afford that kind of private school English medium education. And when they are able to perform and they are able to level up, we were yesterday also discussing about, the kind of privileges that we have. And you showed me a LinkedIn post of yours. It was very well written, by the way. And it got me thinking also about stress versus privileged pressure. So it was very interesting thought. So I think yes, I would say that is something that's really great.
Thank you so much for the feedback. What's your go-to advice before exams?
Focus on your revision, not on the outcome of the exam, because that will just add to stress. It will make you overthink on the questions that you're answering, and you will end up making silly mistakes. And you will not be able to perform as well as you deserve to based on your entire studying, lectures, practice, revision, all of that. It is at last moment पर आप गड़बड़ कर दोगे जबकि आपका पूरा मेहनत किया हुआ है. So just don't think about the outcome.
How will tech change finance education in the future?
I think it's going to make it much faster. For example, if you're reading a con call or an annual report, you might take an hour to read it or 2 hours to read it, but AI could probably make that work in 5 minutes, give you a summary, and you know which areas or what portions to look for. And of course, there's going to be much better work with AI and with tech and everything, or data analysis, the quantum of data, the kind of data, and the way of analyzing it. So I believe that's the reason why I said that common sense is going to be all the more needed in today's time for applying finance and having a very holistic approach. So both are going to be very important because AI and tech and data and all is just going to be enhancing your work.
What teaching challenge still gets to you?
I think I'll have a similar answer again. So the challenge is where the students are again looking for shortcuts, because you cannot become a CXO tomorrow. You cannot become a finance expert tomorrow or a research analyst tomorrow. You need to really work hard, learn holistically, and level up to that position that you're aspiring for. But that cannot work like a Blinkit or 10-minute delivery or something like that. You need to really persevere and work hard. And students I see are kind of getting down on the patience aspect because of what is being marketed to them also all around. That, do this shortcut 10-hour thing or a 5-hour thing, and you'll become a ninja expert or God knows what. It does not work like that. You need to really work towards it.
And is there a teaching hack you swear by that your students don't know about?
So I don't think my students don't know about it. And second, I don't think there is a hack, because at times it could be having a negative connotation that it's a shortcut and something to deceive or to get it. I would like to look at it as a word like a leverage, because you are putting in the effort in a small way or in the right place in order to amplify the outcome. So I would consider hack, let's say, to be something of that sort. I think being a student myself helps me a lot. In fact, I attended a 4-day program at one of the at I'm Bangalore a couple of years back, just so that I can feel like being a student in the classroom, because it had been 10 years where I sat in a classroom. I've been studying, doing, taking exams and all. So I know what it takes to take an exam, what it takes, how to study about it. So always being in the student's shoes. And even when I'm reading non-fiction and all, I have like my color pens and I'm marking even on the non-fiction books, and maybe writing, scribbling notes on the side, or a flow chart, or scribbling some diagram or something out of it. So being a student really helps me being a good teacher probably.
So, sir, I've got my notes. Hope to make you proud in the next exam.
Absolutely.